The most well-known gifts in the Christmas story, other than the gift of Jesus, are the gifts that the wise men gave to Jesus, and we read about those in Matthew chapter 2, where it says, "After they had heard the king, they went on their way, and the star they had seen in the east went ahead of them until it stopped over the place where the child was. When they saw the star, they were overjoyed. On coming to the house, they saw the child with his mother Mary, and they bowed down and worshipped him. Then they opened their treasures and presented him with gifts of gold and of incense and of myrrh." Those are some pretty impressive gifts. Gifts we don't know the value of. The Bible doesn't tell us exactly how much they were worth. Consensus seems to be that they were worth quite a bit. But the value of those gifts is one thing we don't know. We do know this, however. We do know that Jesus didn't need them. Psalm 24 reminds us that the earth is already the Lord's and everything in it. He already owns absolutely everything. In Matthew chapter 17, Jesus once needed some money to pay his taxes, and he commanded a fish to jump out of the water and spit coins out of its mouth. And that's how Jesus got his money. If he wants money, he can get it without us. He doesn't need our help. And so why did the wise men give these valuable, expensive gifts to little baby Jesus? Well, that's easy. It wasn't because he needed it, but because they simply believed that he was worth it. And do you know what that attitude is? That's worship. Worship is us telling God that he's worth it. In fact, that's the only acceptable type of worship that there is, the willing worship. Nobody had to force these wise men to travel all those miles, to go all this way, to present gifts, expensive gifts, to a baby they had never before seen. They just wanted to do it. They just did it. And when they did, the scripture tells us that they were overjoyed. They were excessively happy because of the gift that was given to them, the one that they found in the little child that they met that day. The gift of a God whose generosity has given us the abundance of heaven. The gift of a God who knew that a trip to earth would cost him more than the value of the gifts that the wise men were giving. It would cost him his life. But that's a gift that he wanted to give, because he wanted you to be able to walk through life knowing that you are treasured, that you are loved, and entirely forgiven by a God who is worthy of the greatest worship we could ever give him.